What's up, Vanguardians? Got my big bush growing. Talk about some dogs today. So welcome on in. If you're new to the channel, my name is Grandmaster, and I'm Vanguard Canine. The other day I talked about the best way to pick a puppy, and I also explained the process of what you should do and how and when to start training with your new dog or your new puppy. And today, I'm going to talk about two other major important things once you have obtained your new puppy and your new adult dog or mid-age dog. It doesn't matter what age your dog is. I think that working dogs are perceptors of learning at any age, as long as you have the right method. As long as you got the right method, you can just start from scratch. You just get in there and do what you got to do, and the dog should be learning. And the word is should be learning. So if your dog isn't learning, I'm going to talk about that too. So now you got your puppy. They picked you a good puppy. You have a dog program going, and you started training. So now it's about how to build a reliable relationship with your new puppy or your dog. And this is very important to training. So we are trying to figure out how to connect with the dog. That's called communication. So we want to talk dog talk to the dog. And you remember, I showed you guys all kind of this joyful treats and tidbits. And I said, get you some of these little treats here. Little small little bites, just the way this gum. And even if you don't use any treat, because you can make a dog love a treat. That's like, say you got a hungry dog. You got him or her, they're contained in a cage. After 2 or 3 days, I mean, they may not like the dog food that you've given them, but once you get hungry, you'll eat almost anything. You and I eat almost anything. So now you can create a treat for your dog. You can also teach a dog to like a new toy. I don't care if it's the wallet or a lighter. If this is all I give the dog to play with and not let him have it now, it's my toy. It's our game. And when you do what I say do, I'm going to roll this across the floor. If you go touch it, I'm going to mark it. We reward. Good boy. That's the clicker. That's my trademark. Good boy. So this is how you're going to build a relationship with a dog. So you remember, if you watched the last video, I said I don't allow my dog to just run around and roam free. I don't allow my dogs to roam free amongst the yard. I don't let a pack of dogs just run loose. Now, I want to say this because this is very important while conversing with an old client, an existing client, and a new client. I explained to them that when you buy a working dog, most of the time we buy working dogs for a purpose. Now, we all have a working dog for a purpose, but it's not always the same. Like you remember I said our dog programs are not the same. The reason why you have a dog or I have a dog, let me put my glasses on because it's hard for me to see without them. We don't have the dog for the same purpose. Although we want to train the dog, both want the dog to sit. But even the sit for somebody who's in the service world, or the sit for somebody who's doing sports, ring sport, or someone who's doing shitsun, they sound the same, but the way the dog perceived the message and what he's going to do is totally different. Welcome, Doug. Welcome in, DK9. So it's all different. So now the communication is the very important part. How can I say, hey, Fido, come get this lighter. Hey, Fido, come find this lighter, or go find this lighter. Hey, Fido, pick this lighter up and hold it in your mouth. Hey, Fido, don't walk with this lighter. Hold it. Hey, Fido, don't bite this lighter. Hey, Fido, don't chew on the lighter. Hey, Fido, drop the lighter in my hand. Let loose. These are different commands. Each one of those things I'm asking the dog is different. So I'm going to have to build a relationship through positive reinforcement, mark and reward with treats. Some of us can use balls. And I would recommend at first, whatever the dog likes to do. Some you can use the ball, but the ball's going to make him real wired up, make him more hyper, is what I'm saying. It's going to make him bounce around a lot. Now, not saying don't put the ball in the trainer. At first, I explained last week, no, that was yesterday, that my dog first few months of eating is from my hand, and I give him tad bits as a reward because, see, I have time to be with my dog. I'm not leaving him in a kennel and going to work for somebody. I work for you guys. You see? When I'm with my dog all day long, I'm asking things of this dog, but I don't have him just roaming free. He's in a kennel. And then when I'm ready, after I premeditate, what I'm saying is I pre-think what I'm going to do with this dog. I have it already arranged in my mind, although it may not go the way I want to. But I got these toys put everywhere and the treats put in spots and in my pants pocket and my fanny pack. And then I go and take the dog out the kennel. And the first thing I do when I open the door, I go to the kennel, I say, here. And as soon as he comes to the kennel, good boy. Then I stick the treat in there where he can get it. So look at that line of communication. Now, eventually when I call his name, he's going to say, when I say here, he looks at the word here means a good feeling. I mean, if I come towards him, I'm going to get something to eat. I'm gonna get something that makes me feel good. Even if he come and he knows I'm gonna open that cage, when I say that, he's gonna eventually know that he's gonna be able to come out of that den, that space that he's in, and have freedom. It's like you and I being locked up in jail. And I hear these guys talk about rec, and I don't know if rec is that special because I've never been to prison, but I would assume it would be. So it's rec time. You ready? Here. Good boy. So I open the cage. Now, the first thing I do when I open that cage is one of two things. You can use one of two things in your new program to train your dog. Is as soon as I open the cage, I grab the collar of the dog and I put a lead on his neck because I'm finna lead him outside. Now, if it's a young puppy, or especially because young puppies are like kids, they're not able to hold their urine or their water sometimes, or their feces. They're ready to relieve themselves from being in that tight spot. And some dogs are starting to learn not to use the bathroom in where they sleep because I don't want to use the restroom in my bed. I may pick my dog up and take him to the spot where I want to, and I'm talking to him. That's a good puppy. I'm talking to him. I'm building the relationship. I'm letting him get used to my voice, my tones. Good boy. That's a good boy. I'm saying I'm doing all of these things because one day if I'm out in the park and my dog is distracted, or I'm not entertaining enough, or I'm not making I'm not moving fast enough because I'm getting older or whatever, and the dog may look around and see a squirrel or a cat or some noises or something that get his attention. And puppies have a short attention span, as well as we're not being interesting enough to keep his attention, that he may want to wander off and run in the direction of the noise or the sound or the new thing for a confident, outgoing type dog. For a dog that's not that confident, and some dogs that are more aloof, they're not going to want to run towards new people. They want to stay close to you. That's their safe haven. And especially little puppies, because they, have this instinct where they feel that these are predators out there or something. It's just in their mind that they genetically have, and it could be the way they were raised and how they were raised at that time, which could be different from a puppy that lived in the house, that was raised in the house around people, a bunch of kids or whatever. He may be outgoing. So when that puppy goes to run off, I'm going to say, puppy, here, good boy. And as soon as that split second he do that, I might jump around, shuffle, anything to get his attention. I might have the ball on the string, and I might wiggle something. Good boy, make a noise. As soon as he run to me, I got that treat in my hand. I'm already thinking this. I'm reaching in my pocket, my BDU pants wide open with the treats down there, and I'll put it in his face. Good boy, and be walking backward. And as soon as I'm gonna give it to him when I say good boy. Like I said before, that's the trigger word for I'm finna release it. I'm finna release the food, the treat. That's what the dog starts thinking in his head. When he say that word, good boy, I'm finna get something. Or you say yes. When he hear that, oh, well, I'm finna get something, and I ain't had nothing to eat all day long. Or yes, this when he bring out that rolling, that little fun ball thing or that jiggly thing, and I get to see it up close and get to try to grab it with my mouth and play tug. Those are the things in the relationship that you use over time to shape and develop your pup to get his attention when he or she is distracted out here in the real world where things are moving and going and all the new sight and sounds are new and very interesting to a puppy that's investigative, a confident type dog, or that's already been, well, I say pre-imprinted, or just a natural born investigative type, like a tracking type dog or the alpha type, just be like, oh, I'm a leader of the pack. I don't need mom and dad. I'm gonna go. I want to see what this is, and he buff up. Some dogs will buff up and come back up a little bit, like they almost scared. And just certain things. But all of these things, I'm gonna take the dog out here into the spot. I pick him up and I take him to the spot, or I put the lead on his neck and I immediately move fast and get out the door, because soon as if you live in a house with tile floors or carpet where you had previous dogs that have relieved themselves there, that left these enzymes, these smells, it's going to relieve himself right there on the spot. And you don't want that, and it's not the dog's fault. He don't know that yet, but you're being sloppy. You're moving slow. You're not thinking ahead of the dog. You're not thinking about the dog and for the dog. And so I pick my dog up and take him to a spot where he's used the restroom before other dogs. I don't really clean up in that area, just kind of put it in a pile. He goes there, he smells. As soon as he smells those odors, he relieves himself. Something in his brain tells him to relieve himself. I mark it. Good boy, that's a good relieve himself. I tell the dog that's what he did. Now, no, he don't know what that means the first time. It's like me speaking to you and I say to you, Midoshi. You don't know what Midoshi is. My love. Eventually I say Midoshi and hug you and give you some love if you was a woman. And then you, after a while, over time, you like, when he said Midoshi, that's something nice. So with the pup, I mark and tell him what he's doing. That's a good relieve himself, or whatever your word is. A good hurry. That's a good hurry. Good boy. And I run up to him. I don't want him to come out of position to me. And that's what people do when they get sloppy. I'm always next to the puppy, and I get closer to him. I put my hand down while he was relieving himself, and I pet him. You don't always have to be food at that time for that, but I give him a treat. And as soon as he get through relieving himself, he gonna run around and bounce around. He ready to play. And as soon as he get ready to play, that's when I bring out that little ball on the string and roll it just a little bit in front of him. As soon as he pick it up, I got my other end of the string. I'm tugging. I'm running a little bit with him. Good boy, he got it. I'm telling him again what he doing. Oh, he got it. He found it. Talking to that dog is going to be things that triggers in his mind when you're out here in the real world in new environments that he's not comfortable working in, that is going to push him. It's almost like Charles the Kid has stepped in, and Charles the Kid is my coach, and I'm running track and I'm tired and I feel like I'm about to quit. And I only have about 20 more yards to go. And this guy here, Doug, could be coming up, closing in, about to steal away my title. And Charles say, running down the side, you can do it. You can do it. I know. I'm telling you, you're the champ. You're the champ. You're almost there. Keep going. Keep going. You see that kind of motivation and that kind of talk. I heard that before. And you heard that before. Wait a minute. I heard that before. He said that, I'm about to win. I could be the top. And that little bit of morale can trigger something in my mind to keep going. And those are creatures of God. So it's the same thing. You're building your line of communication. So now, just like I said earlier, that every time I open this cage up, I'm creating a system where I pick him up, use the bathroom when he get older and he start moving. I'm moving fast enough. He moving fast enough. He get it. We run out of the house real fast and get to that spot. If it's too far, I pick him up and keep his attention, his or her attention, get him to that spot. Then I stop right there and give him some, relieve the tension on the collar or the lead. And I start talking to him, saying those same trigger words. Hurry, do your business. Do your business. Hurry. Hurry, puppy. Do your business. Good boy. That's a good hurry. He's doing his business. I pet him. I walk up to him, ease up to him. Not in a spooky way. Just ease up on him real nice and smooth like you finna ease up into a woman's ear and say, how you doing, beautiful? You know what I'm saying? Oh, good boy. That's a good boy. I ease on up to him nice and smooth and stroking. He like, oh man, I love that. That's a line of communication. That's building a bond, building blocks of trust. And the pup believes that you're the good guy. You're not the tyrant who's trying to reprimand him or stop him from doing something like, people in the house spook him. Everybody don't, if we're not all doing the same thing, then that takes a little longer. But when you're building that system, you want to continue to stay consistent, doing the same thing over and over every day. So you're building a line of communication, and eventually that will lead to your dog giving you the response that you're looking for. Your puppy, as he matures and he starts to learn your voice and your tones and your sounds, he'll start to he give you the ending result. So building a relationship with your dog is all about, the hugs, the smooches, the restraining him, refraining him from doing these things, then letting him out, playing these games with him every time he come out, building the same system of consistency. And then after a while, he starts to see this as second nature. Because dogs are creatures of habit. So this is a system, it becomes a habit to him. Wait a minute, I stay in here, I don't use the restroom in this place. And he's not gonna have me in here alone. And if I whine and bark, he's gonna come see about me. So now he's learning my line of communication to him. So you're getting to know your dog. A line of communication. You start to pay more attention. But if you have your dog locked up, you're not in that same room, or you're gone, you're not really gonna be able to catch him when he starts to try to communicate with you in whatever way he figures that gets your attention. So just walking with your puppy, and every block or two, or if we're just in the park, so many feet, 20 feet, 10 feet, I stop and I say, let him walk off like he's going ahead of me, and I say, here puppy, start backing up and bending down a little bit, my hand down so he can see it, and he runs up to my hand, yes, open, that's a good here. I'm building a line of communication, which is in the end, I'm shaping commands, behaviors with the dog, the here. So that is very important to me. The first thing I teach my dog is here. I don't care about a name and all that, because you're gonna say the name before you say most of this stuff, but the obedience commands are very important. And he's gonna learn his name. If we lived in the same building, you spoke French, I speak Dutch or English, eventually over time, we're going to be able to understand each other through the consistency because of time. And time is what it takes to eventually get your dog to understand you, and you understanding your dog as it grows, and you both grow together. And it's building a bond, and it's building a relationship. It's the same thing as in any relationship, just like any love relationship that any of us had, or a business relationship, or any type of relationship. And it's just time. And that's what it takes. So understanding your puppy or your dog ability and limits. After a while is going to be a bridge you're going to have to come to. And this is very hard for a lot of people because a lot of people don't want to accept when their dog is not capable, or because it doesn't have the genetics. And it's not always because you don't have the necessary methods, but sometimes it ends up that way. But you're gonna have to come to an understanding what your dog's ability is, being able to recognize it and know his limits. So if you got a working dog or a dog that isn't that good, eventually after training him for so many weeks or months, you have to say, this dog doesn't have it. Because it is what it is. There's no trick to training. Training a dog is opening up the genetics, tapping into the genetics. And tapping into the genetics, you're going to be able to see if this dog possesses it or not. You know if he has drive or low drive, no drive. No drive, low drive to high drive. You're going to be able to see that. And especially if you raised dogs before, you're going to be able to have something to judge him on. That standard may be high if you had a good dog or you had a medium dog and you can say, oh, this was way better than that other dog. Or you had a low dog and this was way better than that dog. Or the other dog was medium or high and this dog has low drive, no drive. You know, no, this dog, he don't have it at all. And so now you can be able to judge the genetic character in that dog. And if you're out here playing ball and you've done it for months, and I don't say you don't feed him from a bowl and then you're feeding him from his hand, or you have a scented ball like the scented balls we sell that has holes in it, you'll be able to, you're rolling that ball and you got food in the ball, the scented ball, and that's the way he get his food. And he really don't even want to chase the ball and his food in there. You're enticing him all kind of ways to play games, or you're taking a burlap sack and you're having like a small little pouch, like the kind we kept marbles in when we were little boys, and you put a hot dog in there, a couple of hot dog slices, and you got it on a string to try to build a drive on a dog that doesn't naturally have drive to chase anything, or just don't understand how you're trying to communicate with him or her, and you want to try to get that pup to chase it, and you're doing all the tricks of the trade to be able to get that dog to display what you're trying to get him or her to display. And you say to yourself, this dog don't have it. Well, let me tell you in the end the result for that. As I stated, a lot of you have spent your last earned dollar on paying for a pup that has come from somewhere you may seem, somewhere that may seem important to you. Maybe imported dog from Europe or Canada or Spain, or from your favorite guy. And good Lord knows it'll never be favorite guy me, because I won't sell you a dog low drive, no drive. Those dogs has to be called. They're not even given away to represent the genetic gene pool, because the standard is so high. But you have to say to yourself, sometimes we are going to lose money buying dogs from people who are not, what I say, people that don't have what we call a high good character. You know, they sometimes want to just make money, sell pups and get the money from you, and they're not looking at the best interest of your pockets and your needs, or the pup's needs. And they don't place dogs in the right home. They don't do a good judgment of that. And so, you know, we can't always trust people when we're buying dogs from them if they're not somebody who live the lifestyle and stand behind their name and their brand. And that's very important. They're not people of integrity, is what I like to call them. They're just there for the dollar. So you have to take your loss and say that this dog is no good, because you don't need to spend 13 years raising a dog that can't be what you had expected your next dream dog or dream puppy that'll grow into an adult dog to be. And I wouldn't waste my time on it, and so you shouldn't, because it is what it is. If it's blue, if the sky is blue, the sky is blue. If the sky is black, the sky is black. Rain, storms coming. You can't sit here and make and create in your own mind something that isn't truth. You can't say that this is a great dog. He come from these. He need time. No, man. They either got it or they don't. So you'll come to an understanding with your puppy or your adult dog ability and its limits after you get out here and try to play with them, and you'll know if that dog possesses it or not. We got Nefi Diaz. Is it good? Is it a good time to breed dogs in this economy? You know, we can't. You can't answer that, because if people are buying dogs from you in this economy, then that's good. If people are not buying dogs from you and they're not coming to you to buy dogs, then you're gonna be stuck with dogs feeding them and medicating them, and then that's not good. I mean, that's just the answer right there. I can't tell you that. Nobody can tell you the true answer of anything. Nobody can tell you what's a good dog food to feed your dog, what's not. Nobody can tell you the best way to raise your dog, because nobody can tell you how to raise your kids. Nobody can tell you how to treat your wife and how not to treat her, or how to treat your man, or how not to treat him. Only you. That's that. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Now, I think the tariffs only affect people who are trying to ship dogs overseas and or buy dogs from overseas. Um, but here in the States, if we deal with one another and we begin to not rely on purchasing dogs, and this not nothing to shoot, this not shooting, throwing rocks at anybody in any foreign country, but when are we going to start spending money with each other? When are we going to say, if John got a dog and John been breeding dogs for 20 years, and John participates in like several disciplines or just one, and we see John with a format of videos training dogs and hanging with people like Doug and just other people like Joe Church over there with his Connie Corsos, and you see that's the lifestyle they live, and they're trying to train them, and they've been feeding them for 10 years or which is a decade or 2 decades. Why aren't we buying from him? Why aren't we buying from Joe? Why are we buying dogs? Why are we trying to get a dog from Hefe that we don't even know somewhere, talking about he'll give it to us cheaper if we meet him at the border? Why are we doing that? When are we going to support our own? How are we going to build big business right here in the States? I would say there are plenty of people in the United States that have bought great dogs from different parts of the country to put in a gene pool. Me, I don't buy dogs from overseas because they come from overseas and it seems very important to have. I buy dogs from different people in different parts of the world because that dog is not the same dogs that are all here in Jacksonville, or all the same dogs here in Florida and Georgia, next door to each other, that could possibly have become from the same gene pool if they're a popular dog. But if we're talking about rare breeds of dogs, and not many of them, sure, if there's one around the corner and one up the road across the state line, most likely they're not even no kin. But if you take a dog like a Cocker Spaniel and a German Shepherd and a Labrador Retriever, popular dogs, and people are oversaturating the game and breeding them, then we need pedigree to make sure that there are no kin, and or DNA testing, because papers could be fake. I don't believe in papers. Then that's the problem. So, Neffy, it's very important that we, as a whole here in America, begin to accept that we have enough good dogs, because we see all these good dogs online in America that's being trained or half trained. But even if it's half trained, we can look at a good dog. You got an eye. I have an eye. We can to look at a dog and say, "Ooh, that dog that seemed to be pretty good. Oh yeah, that dog doing dang good. Oh yeah." We see that. The eye don't fool you. A man can tell you a dog good all day, but if you know what you like and you know what's great, that's like a guy get on here and try to dance and say he the best dancer in the world. Me and you looking at each other like, but if you're a great dancer, we like, ooh, ooh. We think we try to get juked too. You see the reality of it is what it is. If it's black, it's black. If it's blue, it's blue. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. It's not necessarily a time gonna make it get better. Time don't make nothing get better now. You gotta already be a good athlete, and then we put you with great coaches who can teach you the moves you need to be able to do, the fundamentals, the skills, just like we're training dogs, and we're trying to teach the dog the methods so we can communicate with them. The dog already know how to track. The dog already know how to search. That's not what we're teaching the dog. That's not what's happening here. We're trying to build a line of reliable communication through a reliable relationship. And that's what the day I was talking to you about, basically. I hope that answered the question. Oaktown, One Love 3. Well, 3 must be the One Love. Can you talk about what's the difference is between a Dutch Shepherd and a Belgian? A lot of people say it's the same dog with a different coat. Can you talk about that based off your experience? Okay, so Oaktown, look at it like this. I live in Florida, and say you live in Georgia, or let's say you live in Oaktown. I'm gonna say Oaktown must be California. So there's 2 states. Belgium is a state. Is a well, that's like a country, over there, because they want so you got what other dog from Holland? 2 different places. But we're in the United States, so we're states like within a country. So just look at it like the United States is a landmass and we're different countries. Let's say that Florida is a country, and let's just say California is a country and not states, right? Well, say Georgia and Florida, since they next door. Over there in Oaktown in California, where you at, you got this dog you call the Belgian. It's a shepherd, because shepherds come from dogs with these guys who raise stock of animals to protect their herd, their cattle, and as well as their property from predators, rather it be man or quarry. And you individualize a breed just like a breeder dog. All dogs come from the same dogs, but people individualize through a standard for so many generations. Oh, we want them to be brown. We want the top to be at this, at the withers and the shoulders, and it got to be a certain height. That's a club. Create a standard, and everybody bred that way 100 years. And the next president come along, he might change something a little bit or whatever. So Belgium and Holland is 2 different places. And in that country, this the dog that that's running around there. And everybody liked that dog and how it worked, so everybody bred up on that same dog. created a standard. Now Belgium had 4 other dogs. They had which was little country, little places right with next to it. They had the Tavern, the Groendale, and the Lincoln War. So let's look at them. They all look the same. If you look at them, there was slight difference in them, but they all were Belgian Shepherds in Belgium. Let's see, can I get a picture? I'm trying to open up Google, but Google won't open. There they go. Let's see. Can I get a picture come up here? Well, I ain't gonna be able to show y'all. They almost look alike. But over here in Holland had one dog. They had that Dutch Shepherd, and they had varieties in that. They had the wired hair, and they had the one that had a little bit of long hair, and they had the short hair, or sleek, or whatever you want to call that. Over there in Belgium, they had these little cities in Belgium. In those cities in Belgium, they had that wired haired one. They had this black one, this Groendale, which is probably the master, because black is the master color. And then they had this, which looked like what they call a sheepdog anyway. And then, because that's what they was calling it one time. And then this Malinois, Malinese over there. And then over here in Tavern, they had a Tavern. Now, what you see is body structure. Of course, the German Shepherd don't move like these dogs. These dogs are like pit bulls, prairie dogs. They can move in any direction, no legs, running synchronization. Well, a German Shepherd, this leg, this front paw, and this back left, right back right, they move together like in a gait when he walk. That's why like he gliding. So when you breed them together, it don't really work. And the chest different. It look like you paste together like how when I was little, I used to watch Donald Duck and he turned to the sunflower thing and looked like the head and the mouth and all the different parts you paste together. That's what you get when you put a German Shepherd to those dogs. But those dogs right there in those countries are so close together, I'm sure that they came from some of the same dogs, so they call them cousins. But all dogs basically come from the same dogs. But you had these countries took these dogs and individualized them for decades, centuries. So you ain't gonna take no dog that you just started last week, last month, and mix in with some dogs that they've been doing for 100 years, and they're gonna look like them. But if you do it for 100 years, I'm pretty sure some influence of one or the other is going to influence you, and eventually they're going to be almost alike. Now, the Dutch Shepherd has stripes. When you breed him to any of those dogs right there, if it got stripes, they're going to say it's a Dutch Shepherd because it can't come out but one of the other color, a solid fawn, or he's going to be brindle. You get these dark Dutch Shepherds, the normal standards, and then you see these light Dutch Shepherds online that look kind of yellow with stripes because they got Malinois in them. Because they mixed. They done mixed them, and the gene pool of the Dutch Shepherd was almost in the end when at the end of the century of the war. They almost was gone. They had to mix them in something to come bring them back. The first Dutch Shepherds almost looked like a Groendale, like the black dog with the long hair. Looked like a little wolf dog. Didn't look like what you see today. Unless you talk about show dogs. But when you look at police dogs, working dogs, we don't care about no pedigree. I don't sell pedigrees, I sell the dog. So think about that. You care about what it does. And that's very important to people when their lives on the line, like military officers, law enforcement officers in any entity, whether it's state troopers, border patrol, marshals, which don't normally have dogs, and police departments, K9 units, dog unit. There are people trying to come home, their lives on the line. They need a reliable dog to do the job, to go into a building when men scared to go into a warehouse with a killer. They send the dog in there, a sacrifice. You know, to track somebody down, our nose ain't strong enough, our senses ain't heightened. We not Daniel Boone no more. We not Indians. We can't follow footsteps. We ain't doing this every day. They got a strong nose. The olfactory is deep. So they can track it down in a short order and subdue them, sustain, detain the suspect, or get there and just bark to alarm us that this lost person is there. And that's what you're trying to do. So you're trying to get dogs that are reliable. And when you start thinking about reliability, you live this lifestyle like me, you begin to sacrifice genetics. When I say genetics, not the genetics, but the color and the structure and the what you would call faults or flaws that don't make this dog look like how the wolf or the German Shepherd look. You don't really care that much about that no more, because the beauty to a person like me who train dogs and want to have success in this little puppy at a very early age / period, that's the beauty, to see him run over there and find that money up under that log that was buried and left there 30 minutes ago or an hour ago. He came in there and did this better than the last dog. Ooh, you couldn't fool him. You tried to run on the track. I let you run 10 minutes. You got out the car. He ain't really know. I just got him out the car and told him to start tracking, and he just did it on his own. You know, you told him to stay while you went in the store, and people came by, the cat ran across, he ain't even moved, and you've been practicing that just a month. God dang, that was beautiful. That dog looked beautiful, don't he? Don't he? So that's what I want to leave you with. People who live this lifestyle and people who sell dogs and provide dogs to people like that, that's what's important. It ain't what he come from and why they mixing them. Who cares about why they mixing them, what they did? The why is, that's a damn good dog. And this is a damn good dog. And that damn dog, I admire him. And I want to put that dog in my gene pool because I want my puppies to act either like my dog, if it could be half of my dog or half of that dog. Shoot, I ain't going, no, I'm not losing. Are you? If you bought a puppy, are you going to lose? Close your eyes, reach into the barrel. Don't worry about what it looked like. Don't worry about what gender. Just pull one up, put it in your arm, and start building that reliable relationship. I hope that helped you, Mr. Oaktown or Miss Oaktown. One love. What's up, Doug? RBG, Lone Wolf. Salute. Street Rosie or Rossi. I've been teaching my dog by work. He will grab the sleeve, but I can't get that growl out of him. What can I do? Street. Listen to me. My hand itching. I almost seem like, wait a minute, before I answer that, let's do this. Let's do this. It's just that moment right here in the middle of the show where I say, this is where we need your support. You guys can cash out $ULYSEEMUFFJR. That's ULYSEEMUFFJR at Cash App. Or if you want to send us a donation by supporting our channel, you can use our number with Zelle. That's 904 450 3339. That's 904 450 3339. That's a Zelle. You can also support our channel by buying puppy equipment. We sell tug toys, bite sleeves, scented balls, and any of your desired needs for puppy training and shaping behavior equipment. No donation is too big or too small. Remember, information is priceless, and you can come to Vanguard K9 and get all of your informational needs to shaping your good puppy into making him even greater. And of course, admit, a well-trained dog is loved everywhere he or her goes. It's nothing like having a trained dog. Okay. Listen to what I'm saying, Street. If you got a puppy and your puppy grabbing the sleeve, what the hell you wanted to growl for, man? Let me say that again. Some people, dog, won't even grab the sleeve. Don't want to put their mouth on it. Their dogs don't even have the right genetics. Not even a strong enough desire or will to play the game. Some dogs don't even have the genetic code that some of my dogs have, that grab the sleeve and hold on to it. Full, deep grip. That's genetics. I breed that in my dogs. Why the hell you want your dog to growl? I'm just asking. That don't make sense. Don't watch videos with what you see me doing, or Doug, or Oaktown One Love, and you think that's the format that your dog should be doing. Keep playing the game. So let me tell you this. Some dogs growl because they're being challenged by someone they don't know grabbing the sleeve, and they playing the game and they letting them have their way, and they get used to having their way and know they're gonna get the sleeve, and they holding it a little longer and they get frustrated. So they plus they don't know the person, so they can hate them. Now you can ruin a puppy, or you can, make him stop biting by pushing him too far if he's not a good dog or the person does the wrong thing. But I'm saying, for the most part, most dog trainers who are serious fanatics, and not just serious fanatics, but some guys like in sports who are serious sports fanatics and on different levels of training, don't want their dog to growl. They look at that as a fault, almost like could be a bad habit, could be a weak link, or a weakness of fear. But I won't agree with that, because we can't analyze the dog to know. Some dogs do it because they have a high aggression threshold or low aggression threshold in their perception of what is happening in that tug of war game. So that's a tug of war game. At the end of the day, why would your dog, if you the one holding the sleeve, why would you want your dog to bite you? See, them puppies you see me shaping, I'm selling to somebody. It's not a dog I'm keeping for myself. So me personally, I'm not playing bite sleeve games with my dog Kodak or any of them, because when I say get him, I don't want him looking at me. I want him looking around for whoever, because I teach my dogs to bite with or without equipment, and I'm not conditioning them to bite equipment, and especially dogs that you build a prey up so high and they become equipment orientated. They'll growl a lot because the different reasons. There's 4 or 5 different reasons, 4 or 5 different reasons why dogs growl in the midst of playing bite work, which is the same as tug. And some people shake and play tug all the time and shake that with it all. But an adult dog and a dog as he matures into teenage stages will bite your ass when he growling, because that's a threatening saying, you take that on my, you let loose my stuff. You get it? Now, if you want him to growl, play tug with him. But you're going to create a dog that's challenging you a lot and don't want to let loose the sleeve. Like when you say drop the ball or let loose the tug, turn his head and all that other stuff, that's going to mess up something down the line, something else you're trying to train him. And who knows what level you're trying to go. So everybody's different. Don't focus on that. Focus on just developing the puppy's grip, a calm grip, making sure he got it, and releasing and rebiting something else, and not being so equipment orientated. Oh my God, I got a lot of people here that wrote stuff. How do you go about importing a dog from a different country? Street. If you go online and you see a dog on a website you like, all you gotta do is email them or call them, and that's how you buy a dog. It's real easy. But do you want to do that? You want to buy a dog from somebody you don't even know a million miles away, and they're gonna ask you $4,500 or $7,000? Or make it sound simple to you. Oh, over here in American dollars, you can give me $300 and it sounds sweet, and they take your money. Don't get caught up in all that. There's plenty of people on here on these videos that got dogs right now. Doug. Okay, that's Doug. Magnolia peeking through the house. Magnolia Kennels. No, just keep coming to the video. You say you thought growling was when your dog turned on, is more of a deterrent. No, bro, no, man. Just keep coming to the videos. Keep watching the video. You need let this stuff build up in your head. Don't jump to the end too fast. Just build up. Just build up your training. Build up what you're doing. Build your relationship. You're gonna get there. Don't think so much. Just focus on where you're at, and then go to the next step. Go to the next step after that. Take your time, brother. You're trying to learn. You'll teach a dog something you don't want to teach the dog, because there's steps to training. There's steps to certain behaviors, depending on what discipline you're going in. Or if this just your, yard dog, protection dog, and you ain't trying to go into discipline for points in the future, then, you can train your dog however you want them. But there's steps to training. You want to take your time, brother. Macedonian gangster. Macedonian or Macedonian? Ideal size for herding. Well, that goes back to the same thing I said earlier. There's really no idea of anything, because that would say we're a club individualizing a standard. and we're trying to create a breed to be at a certain standard and for everyone to think that that's the standard. I'm not into a standard. I breed dogs from the KMPV Royal Police, Royal Dutch Police line, and I breed a little small dog to a big dog, or two big dogs, or two tiny dogs. Two tiny dogs produce big dogs bigger than them, or big dogs produce dogs smaller or some bigger. And they're not all the same size. They don't come to the standard because they're different dogs from different genetic gene pools, because we're um, trying to individualize certain traits and behaviors that this dog possesses and that dog possesses. So it's not really a size. It's just depending on what you're looking for. But if you're talking about, if I want to send a guy in the military a dog, he wants a dog that he can put on his shoulder, jump out the helicopter cockpit with, and well, you work in the borders and you want a dog small enough to be able to climb up on the cars, turn on his back and point, and at a bomb. You don't want him to touch it or find drugs. You want a dog to be able to get on the cockpit up there in the airport, sniff these bags. So Beagle's good, but can't get up there. You got to put him up there surely. A shepherd dog can stand on his hind legs when he smells something up in the air, and it indicates that there's something in that direction, and we get him a little closer. So, it just depends on what sector you're going into with the dog. That I would say a size. Like my dog Kodak is a stupid huge dog. Something happened to him or whatever, and we out in the woods. He's just too big. I couldn't carry him. I mean, his tail's so big he don't really fit in my Jeep well. Well, Mozzie looks a little tall and big, but he's real slim and small, and he could get in the car. And Kodak Jr. is like a mid-size, a little bit he's between both of them. But I like his size, not too big, not too small. But when you're out here, say you and I and a group of other individuals meet up every night in the park in the woods, and we like to put our dog on people. It sure look good to have a big dog knock somebody down, and then the small dogs don't do it. But always remember, dynamite come in small packages. How do you strengthen a puppy's grip? Genetics. Now, genetics is everything. But you can play with a dog biting, stop, pivoting, regrip, and stuff like that. So that's easy. And, that's pretty much somebody holding the line. The dog's on a harness, not on the collar. The way you choking him out while he pulling. You're holding him behind on the harness, and the guy's going backwards. And the dog biting, he stopped, and the dog push in. But that's all genetics, man, too. I said that earlier. You just got on the lives, and I talk about that all the time in videos. Most of this stuff is genetics. But you can teach dogs that don't have the good genetics and don't have the good ability. Remember, you got low, medium, high. If you're low, you ain't gonna never go that no farther than about almost right there, almost touching medium. But if you're medium, you can go almost medium, almost to high. You can't never go that far up. You can always go down, but you can't never really build a dog all the way up. You can't make a soft dog a killer, but you can take a killer and try to abolish some of his aloofness and his aggressiveness through compulsion training to make it a little easy, but he always gonna be that killer. You get it? It is what it is. That's how it goes. And what do you think about Bull Terrier X Belgian Malinois herds? They've been doing that for years. That's nothing new. They was doing that in the 90s. And in fact, many dogs from the KMPV, that's exactly what they already is. Got pit bull in them and cross back to other shepherd dogs. So that's nothing new. It's not, the new age people are calling, saying bully herder. There's no such thing as bully herder. They've been doing that. Kodak, Carlos Van Voss, PH1 Metloff, Van Leeuwen's, Weibo, all them dogs is pit bulls, Malinois, and all that cross. And Chow Chows and Great Danes. They've been doing that. That's nothing new. The dogs that you see me online with training every day, they got that stuff in them. That's old, man. That ain't no such breed. But the new age people want to make it sound like it's new. All you doing is stepping back 30 years in the genetics, what we been did years ago, and cross a pit bull to a Malinois. When you cross them together, you ain't gonna really see that pit bull much in them. For some reason, when you cross pit bulls to those type dogs, and you don't see much pit bull, it look more like a shepherd dog, but you can see a little bit in some of them. And then they take the best ones and keep going back into the gene pool. But there's only a purpose for that. Nobody just doing that to breed dog. I don't even breed my dogs just to breed dogs. They got a home to go to and they got a purpose. And so I'm putting certain dogs together because I'm trying to retain and mimic the same dogs that I have that somebody admire my dog and I want to sell them that through a puppy and not get rid of my dog. So just breeding a Malinois to a bull terrier, terriers, I don't want to just step back because now you got to fix the color and all the other stuff if that's what you're trying to do, individualize a standard and all that. They been, like I say, I got plenty of people with pit bulls and bull terrier. They've been doing that. They've been doing that, bro. That's old. Is a 6-month-old presser female. She gives a full bite and will hold. I want to strip the grip. I just told y'all to strip. I just told y'all to strengthen the grip, brother. Come on, man. Make my phone ring on Cash Out. You finna drill me? You finna drill me? Man, you better start supporting my channel now. I'll stay on here for hours now. You sit make my Cash Out ring. Ask me the same question. I just told you the answer how to do it. I'm gonna tell you again. Cause you're trying to learn. You're moving too fast, one. But strengthen your grip is putting a harness on your dog back. You holding the lead, you standing back, the guy moving around with the sleeve, you inching out a little bit, he backing up, you inching out, the dog grab it, he's still going back, you stop, pivot, bam, the dog got there, he pulling like this, he stopped, and then he pushed in forward. There you go. Yeah, man, I've been on here 67 minutes. This is a little too long for me. But y'all come back tomorrow and we can talk about these same old things, man. He said, but how to breed pit bulls and bull terriers into herders, but to do it in a way, say the herd's side. Brother. All the KMPV Dutch Shepherds and Malinois are pit bulls and Dutch Shepherds and Malinois and German Shepherds and Great Danes and Chow Chows and anything that'll do the work. There is my dogs, the dogs that I have are just that. What you talking about? Now, if you want to do this yourself and start all the way back to the back, breed them together and take 10, 20 years, like I did, and keep breeding them till you fix them. They already dead. That's what's out there. Ain't no bad genes or combinations. When you say that, what are you saying? Because why would you breed two dogs that got any bad gene combinations anyway? So if I breed two good dogs together, a great dog and the great dog together, where's the bad gene combination? So that's what I'm saying. You can't breed. Why would I breed a dog if there's no purpose for it? Why would I breed two dogs if I don't have a place for them to go or a sector I'm going to be using them in? Why would I want to do that? Why do I want to breed and start all over when they're already dogs that ought to be individualized in such manner? Great champion dogs that you ain't got to spend but a couple of $1,000s to buy. I mean, we spend that on cars and wheels and dinners. You know what I'm saying? Go buy a dog that's already from the KMPV line. That's what they is. You want some real pit bull Malinois stuff? Go buy a Duco dog. Go buy any of that stuff. They talking about that Duco. What them dogs is? I had a daughter that was a PH1 Metlaw female. India was the only daughter. The Django. Go buy the Django, Rico Rising, all them type dogs like that. That's what they is. Google them. Y'all come back and check me out tomorrow. Grandmaster Muff Cakes. Talking about $ muff cakes. You funny, man. You know my cash app. Matter of fact, that ain't my cash app. Let me show y'all my cash app. I'm gonna put it on here right now. Actually, I don't know how to do all that. I'm too old. Y'all younger than me. I gotta get them kids to teach me how to do that. I wish I knew how to do it. No, my cash app don't say muff cakes. Hey, how do you text on the phone? Well, I didn't mean to do that. Oh well. When them grandkids come around, I'll let them teach me how to do certain stuff. Anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all coming on to the video today, and let's do it again tomorrow. My cash app is $ULYSEEMUFFJR. $ULYSEEMUFFJR. Or you bought a Maxie, I bought a dog from you. I'm in Cali. He's a killer. I know he's a killer. He got all them killers in him. Don't you let the dog kill nobody. That's the, part of being a responsible owner in the end is stopping them damn dogs because they'll go through, follow through. You only want them in case somebody do something to you. Or use them as a deterrent, but not really get out here and hurt nobody. Finna go out here and make a video or two. Man, y'all appreciate y'all coming in for 72 minutes and 40 seconds.